Hello and welcome to the Rose Sanctuary. My name is Roselle Thompson and we're here to have a conversation. Get what you want now. But how do you do this? Well, no, the question is, are you frustrated, impatient, losing hope of ever getting your real desires? Are you daily in the position of just sending up begging prayers and believe that you have no part in the process other than to just receive? Wrong. First of all, there needs to be clarity on what's possibly happening to you. For example, you know that your impatience, your frustrations, and your complaints about the fact that nothing's working for you could be a stumbling block to your success or to your progress. You need to know also that those everyday negative thoughts are like prayers. And are you saying them in the right tense, in the present tense? Do you talk as if you're projecting or expecting things to just come to you in the future and not making it clear that you want those things now and not utilizing the present tense? Do you know that the universe has its own unique timing? It's called divine synchronicity, and it will always answer, probably not as quickly as you would want it to, but believe me, it does answer. Did you know that everything you want and desire is already created in the quantum realm? So you must understand the world of resonance, vibrational frequency waves, in order to appreciate the beauty of partnership and reciprocity of energies that takes place in and around you. So, how do you find the answers? If you're not spiritually attuned or spiritually aligned with your desires, how does things work? They will seem to take forever, or sometimes it seems as if they haven't come true. Well, firstly, know that there is no space for being passive. You are an active and important contributor in getting what you desire. Don't expect it to just magically fall into your lap, like requesting items from a shopping list and having an Uber delivery later. No, 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 no. So, what does it mean to be spiritually attuned or spiritually aligned? It means being connected to the infinite intelligence of the universe. Some call it God, others call it different names depending on their culture and origin. They have their own names for it. But whatever you prefer to call it, it still means being in rhythm or oneness with the Creator. Now, this creative force is within you, and you can tap into it at any time, any place, anywhere, by spoken requests, whispers, songs, or just quiet thoughts. And connecting with that higher force is also very simple. It's like turning your radio into your favorite station, tuning that radio. And you know that this favorite station is identified by its frequency. Think for a minute about how you do this. You do that so naturally and spontaneously, believing that through this frequency, which is your favorite radio station, there lies your station to listen to, and you tune into it without question. Now, in the same way, you can imagine that the infinite intelligence of the universe, that frequency or higher level vibrational energy, with its limitless possibilities, is also available, always available. You just have to tune into it like you do with your radio. To recognize this reality is to understand that the lower level vibrational energy consists of your fears, your doubts, your anger, resentment, jealousy, and the list goes on. These low energies, they clutter your spiritual channel. So whilst you're persistently asking for your desires, these negative energies are short-circuiting the receipt of those desires. Then as you complain about not getting your requests or your prayers answered, the more low vibrational energies are added to your long list of complaints, blocking your path to success. I hope you are now beginning to see the pattern. And as you experience lack, you may become impatient, resulting in added lists of low and negative energies by complaining and criticizing. These acts, they act as stumbling block to your happiness. In other words, they block or interfere with your high vibrational frequency. Now, only when you learn to resonate with a higher frequency can you truly interact with the universe in a meaningful way. And you will find that's when the magic begins to happen. With a partnership of higher vibrational energies working synchronistically, there is reciprocity. Things begin to work. As the magic happens, you will notice that your vision boards, your wish lists, your affirmations all become working tools with great potential to succeed. So you've got the vision board, you've got your list of affirmations, your recording journal. What next? What do you do? Well, the first thing to do is that the first thing to understand is that manifesting what you want is not a one-way street. Yes, it's not I want this and I want that. You also must work for it. In other words, you must become an integral contributor in the partnership, which is both you and the universe working together. Isn't that marvelous? The universe expects reciprocity, yeah, which means give and take of energies. You put out a request, and the universe may send you an opportunity. And that may come sometimes as a chance meeting with someone, even a challenging situation that tests and prepare you for your desires. Your actions, decisions, and positive affirmations keep the partnership working. The universe is not interested in one-hit wonders either. It seeks a long-term relationship built on mutual respect and energy exchange. What is clear is that you must constantly work at fine-tuning this spiritual alignment and ongoing partnership. Now, let's not forget that we have numerous guides and teachers, also both in the physical and non-physical realms, who are always ready to assist us. We are never alone on this journey. Our spiritual guides, angels, past life experiences offer a wealth of wisdom and perspectives. These loving energies support us in subtle ways. They provide synchronicities, coincidences that serve as signposts on our paths. Remember, each step you take isn't just to move forward. It's a statement of intent that you're willing to grow, you're willing to change, and willing to embrace the boundless possibilities of your existence. In embracing these truths, do take note that the road to manifestation and spiritual alignment isn't always linear or in one straight line. There are twists and turns, detours that may challenge us. In fact, sometimes problems aren't really problems. They are just wake-up calls. They make us stop, think, and maybe change our ways a bit. You need to learn to see these challenges as special detours that may be teaching us something really important. They help us get better at making our lives the way we want them to be. Your tough times aren't punishment. They are really just secret lessons. Why do I say this? Well, let me share a personal story of challenges that confronted me, causing a huge detour in my life, but they soon took me onto another path that I can happily and gratefully say also enhanced my spiritual alignment and provided answers to my earlier expressions for continued success and development in my life. In fact, at this particular time in my life, I had achieved great success. Perhaps you could say I was at the pinnacle of my career and professional life. At that time, I thought nothing could go wrong because I believed that not only was I doing good as a human being, which resulted in my success, but I was heavily involved in also helping others, changing lives, those whom society had spurned, thought to be at the bottom of the social and educational pile, both young and old. I was charitable, passionate to turn lives around, and began to extend my reach internationally. I established a foundation to give sincerely from my heart, as well as proceeds of my business as scholarships to those who were less fortunate than myself, those who were disadvantaged. In fact, I loved being a source of hope and strength to others. I was happy with the universe and my world and my sphere of influence. I was selfless in all my dealings. Those around me whom I had dedicated myself to were also succeeding, making real and evidential progress, and life generally felt good. However, I hadn't figured that doing so with such sincerity and innocence, since my simple passion was to help others, that I would actually attract enemies who didn't like what I was doing and were bent on totally destroying all that I had worked for. Mm-hmm. Well, how did this happen, you may ask? My answer is that somehow, whilst I was putting others first and not caring for myself as I should have done, and only seeing life through rose-tinted or rose-colored glasses, simply believing that everyone must surely believe in doing good too, I had taken my eyes of my own safety ball, so to speak, through my own naivety. I become complacent and wasn't prepared for the big life lesson that was to follow. A sudden crash, a loss of all that I had spent my life building up for the good of others. Yes, it was a crushing blow to everything that was me and represented me. It was a time of great confusion and self-reflecting questions about the logic about what had happened. But I held on to the belief that the universe or God, the infinite intelligence, had decided it was time for a life lesson and a new assignment. So rather than complaining and feeling woe is me or that this is the end, I sought clarity by asking the infinite intelligence, the universe, God, to show me what lessons were to be learned in the calamity. And this helped me to remain calm whilst all around me was or seemed to be in turmoil. There was an unexplainable calm and peace and quietness that seemed to envelope my being. I was confident, no matter what, that this was happening for my good. It was what my Christian grandmother, who had brought me up, had instilled in me, a Bible verse from Psalm 23. And it goes like this: though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. Now, maybe she knew in her wisdom that I would need this at some point in my life, sometime. Certainly, the universe, the divine intelligence, God knew it would come in handy for me and had prepared me well in advance of this catastrophe. It had unconsciously been a part of my inner core, something I believed in without question. And so it really became a mantra that directed my inner being and my actions. Those who, on the outside of my inner space, were mystified by my inner calm and composure. In fact, many around me had seemed to be more concerned about my loss than I was. But my personal secret was being in constant engagement with God, the infinite intelligence, certainly the limitless and boundless universe, resonating with the potential to give me far more than I'd lost. Now, as a result of this inner peace, I wrote my empowerment textbooks and was strangely, in the midst of all this turmoil, driven to take the position of writing to advise others, as I'd engaged in writing these empowerment notes with advice, words of comfort, helping people to deal with all kinds of adverse situations. So I turned my adverse situations into something that can help others. So you see, it did not just benefit me, it was also benefiting others. The period which followed gave me time to learn about myself, about my vulnerability of being too openly concerned for others, whilst potentially leaving myself open to detractors, what some might call destiny killers, conspirators, and the like. I had learned to be more discerning, to understand my true self, and to strengthen my realignment with the infinite intelligence of God, the creative force, so that material things were less of a priority, since I no longer had to earn as much in order to assist others in a material way. I learned to guard and curb my passion, that immediate passion that I had for being of service to mankind and those who were less fortunate, but in a different way. I did it in a different way. What clearly emerged was evident: a new life assignment. I was able to develop my passion as a writer. And with this new assignment and alignment with the infinite intelligence, the universal energies empowered me to write one book per year in the 15 years which followed. So it meant that I was able to publish 15 books in a relatively short time, write and publish. In fact, I dare say I would not have had the time to do so if my original life plan had worked before the calamity. I now saw this as an answer from the universe that this present mode of life was more desirable for my longevity, my peace, my happiness and development. And I gained great wisdom from understanding the need for insisting on balance in everything, from learning not to complain, not to live in the past, not to blame or hate anyone. The universe, as my guide, enabled me to achieve a great deal, but via a different route. So I realized that in asking for success and the things of life, the answer did come, but with an enormous challenge. What I had seen as a heartache and a loss at the time was answered by a detour. Ultimately, my requests had been answered. They had come to fruition. They had succeeded, but it required taking a different route to get there. Today, I can tell you with confidence to believe that the universe or God or the infinite intelligence, whatever name you call it, has its own unique timing, its divine synchronicity. You must also open yourself to the reality that hate, anger, fears, resentment, jealousy, and impatience are all stumbling blocks to your answered prayers. You must be spiritually attuned or aligned with your desires for them to come to fruition. Maintain an abundant mindset, because no one can take that away from you. Your belief system about receiving is via your thoughts. And your actions and desires. So your belief system about receiving is via your thoughts and your actions and your desires. If you hold reservations or fears, even as tiny as they may be, say 20% doubts, they will affect the other 80%, causing a clash in your subconscious, registering this clash as limiting or competing forces. Yeah? The best way to break a limited belief or a limited mindset or a mindset of scarcity, lack, is to ask the universe to show you how to expand your belief. How I ask to give you the strength to expand your life. Remember, the universe only wants good for you. So once you initially cleanse what comes up to the surface when you ask, you can then step into certainty of alignment. Finally, you must know that the world of vibrational frequency waves and resonance is real. And the moment you see the desire and express it, it is already created in that quantum realm that surrounds us. And it's already resonating in the universe, waiting for you, like when you tune into your radio, to tune into it. So be prepared for your journey with the limitless and boundless universe that will see you stepping into certainty of achieving and fulfilling your desires. So anything you want, you can get it now. Just try these principles. And let me hear from you what you think. And if you like videos like this, please subscribe to the channel. And it means that whenever we post the video, you will know that it's available straight away. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you again the next time. Goodbye.